Our leaders in Washington say they are going to cut spending, and with a debt that is approximately $13.5 trillion, they really do have to follow through on their promise. Now's the right time to start looking at what exactly Congress is spending on.
I think that if the American people ever really got down into the weeds and looked line by line at the way that the elite in Washington think it's acceptable to spend the hard-earned money of the American public, I think that the Tea Party would be truly a Tea Party. It would be tame compared to the reaction of the American family.
We now have a lame duck session of Congress, which could lead to some bizarre earmarks and talk of an earmark ban in Congress. Some of what has been tacked onto bills in recent years is, well, ridiculous. Americans for Limited Government President Bill Wilson has some examples of earmarks that are beyond a waste.
Thousands of dollars to test how monkeys react when they smoke crack. Snail darter studies, sidewalks that end at a ditch in Oklahoma.
Other suspect earmarks include funding for the Charlie Rangel Community Center.
Well, Charlie Rangel Community Center is a perfect example of how these people believe that they're somehow an elite. And that's Charlie Rangel. He's putting his name on something.
Another is a tax break for wooden arrow makers.
Why would you be giving a tax break to wooden arrow makers for children? There must be a wooden arrow manufacturer residing in the district of a very powerful old-line congressman. Isn't a better way to simply reduce the tax rates on everyone and every company, make them level and equal and even, and get rid of all this social engineering?
Another is a U.S. government program to help the people of Africa learn how to clean up after sex.
We presume to be able to teach people in third world countries the better way to live. You know what? That's not the role of the American taxpayer. It's not the role of the auto worker in Ohio or Michigan. It's not the role of the store clerk.
And yes, there was an earmark asking for a government-funded study on how to make beer taste better.
There are millions of people who home brew. They know how to make it taste better for them. And you know, this one you have to count as an underhanded form of corporate welfare. If Anheuser-Busch or Miller or Coors or Molson or any of the private brewers want to figure out how to make beer taste better, I think they'll spend their money to do it.
So while we may now know how monkeys react to crack, a study on how these earmarks slip by might be more important to us.
When times were relatively good, nobody paid attention to the politicians. And so they would get a pet project. They would get some kind of idea. Or a major donor would come to them with something. And they would slip it in. And this get-along, go-along mentality in Congress meant that I'll allow your silly tax break or spending program to go through. You let my silly tax break or spending program go through.
Frank McCaffrey, Americans for Limited Government.